Hey everyone. Well, if you've heard the phrase, you can't judge a book by its cover, I'd like to see if that also applies to a bottle of bourbon. We're going to review Willet Pot Still Bourbon 94 proof. So we got this really cool sample down in Florida where I got the Cooper's Craft and a bunch of other samples. I've been searching a sample like this out for a while, and the deal is kind of like this. Similar to that phrase, you can't judge a book by its cover. Can you judge a bourbon by its bottle? Because this is a very pretty bottle. It's a very unique bottle. This is obviously the small sample, but the regular bottle looks very much like this. It's a larger scale of this, and it's a very tall bottle. You can miss it on a shelf wherever it is, and it's definitely one of the more unique bottles. And it's certainly, if this was just judged on the appearance of the bottle, this would be right up there with the best of them. But on this one, this is extra intriguing to me because I have not heard many good things about this. For the most part, the comments I've heard have been a lot more negative than positive on this one. So I've been very intrigued by it. And I said, the next time I see a sample like this, definitely going to pick it up and try it. I have not, to my knowledge, had any Willet products, or maybe I did. If I am, it's not hitting me right now. So the deal with this is, it is a Willet pot still bourbon. It is 94 proof. This is a small batch bourbon, and this is actually a true small batch because there really is no definition to small batch. It could be a smaller number of barrels in a batch, but there really is none. This truly is, from what I understand, my research, this may be, and I say may, I'm not 100% sure, but it may be in the range of about 12 barrels per batch. That truly is a small batch. This particular one, actually, it even says it on this label here. It is batch number 23D01. Again, it's from the Willet Distillery, Bardstown, New York. Bardstown, Kentucky. And it does say that it is distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky. It says it's bottled by the Willet Distillery, but it says very clearly distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky. And when you see that, that means definitely undisclosed distilleries in Kentucky, which is exactly what it is. Now, the rumor is, not sure how true or not it is, that at this point, most, if not all of their distillate is distilled in-house, but we don't know that for sure. It's a lot we don't know about this. We don't know the age statement. We don't know the mash bill. Originally, what they did with this expression with Willet was, I think in 2008, this came out as a single barrel, and then was rumored to be in the 8 to 10 year old range. I doubt that that's the case. Then in 2015, it changed from a single barrel to the small batch that it is right now. This, of course, I believe is supposed to mimic or be an impression of the copper still, of a copper still, and that's where this shape comes from. So my initial impression, certainly if I heard nothing else, would be not great, because I like full disclosure. That's what what I really was impressed with on the holiday bottles. Very, full disclosure on that. Other barrels like Bardstown, I like when they have full disclosure on there. And if it's going to be, where it's, where they distill it from somewhere else, get the distillate somewhere else, that's fine, but disclose it. For me, the more information, the better. This, to me, is a lot of a mystery, except for the fact of the name. Again, no age statement, no mash bill, undisclosed distilleries. Do we know if it's all in-house or not? We just don't know. So this is going to clear up definitely a long-age mystery for me. Is the liquid in here as good as the bottle outside? So let's get this in a glass and find out. Okay, so we have this poured in a glass right now. Let's give this a nose. That is a very light, fruity, almost, dare I say, almost like a Scotch-like nose. And I mean Scotch-like, not take away the peat, but there is something, I don't know, something citrusy or something that may remind me a little bit of a Scotch. I'm not that impressed with the nose, but let's give this a taste. Cheers. It's a little off taste to me. Let's try this again. For a second there, and I don't know why I'm using this comparison. For a second, my first taste, it kind of reminded me of Jim Beam White Label. That's not a good start. It has I'll tell you what it does have. It does have the thinness on the palate of a Jim Beam white or even a black label. There is definite some rye spice here. No doubt rye. I would have to imagine there is a relatively decent rye percentage in this mash bill. No doubt about it. There's definitely I would call this probably a high rye bourbon, whether that mean 20%, 30%. There's definitely more than 10% rye in here. Definitely more than 15. You know, I saw a phrase when I was reading a couple of articles about this of some kind of a buttered popcorn type taste. Not what would be hitting me on my end. I may be able to see why they might say it, but that would not be the way I would describe it. Okay, so you get there's a definite pelting of rye. So if you like that profile, you would definitely like that. I will say in this positive, there is some decent legs on this hanging out here on the sides here. It looks thicker on the glass than it actually is tasting in the mouth, as far as I'm concerned. I'll put it this way: it's not maybe as bad as I was expecting, where we've just been like, I just can't drink it, but by no means so I feel like I've missed out by not having this or not purchasing this bottle. And quite honestly, I don't feel the need that I'm going to run out and buy the regular, regular size bottle of this. So I'll give this one more try. Yeah, it's not high. There's a definite rye taste in it, but it's not. There are some ryes. Look, I've developed a little more of a taste for higher rye bourbons, but this is not one of them that would be hitting me. I don't know, there was something that reminded me of Jim Beam White, but I don't know what this is. To me, there is no way this is an 8 to 10 year bourbon, which they had rumored when it was a single barrel. I definitely feel there's a significance of rye. So let's put it this way: not as bad as I thought, not as good as I would like. So this is not going to be something I'm going to be running out to get. I do think in this case that the bottle looks a lot nicer than, as far as what's inside. So you truly can't judge a bottle by its you can't judge a bottle by its outside. So again, not as bad as I thought, not as good as I'd like. So I think this is it would be a toss up at best. So cheers, thanks for watching.